Picture this. You need to spin up a new campaign for a client, and you need to set up a high number of domains and mailboxes for the sending. But you don't know how to choose secondary domains or even what domains are available for purchase cheaply. Today, I'm going to be showing you how we automate the brainstorming of new domains and simultaneously check to see if they're available for cheap. We've set up thousands of mailboxes for our clients, and this step of choosing and checking domains used to take a lot of manual labor from my team, but not anymore. We've automated the entire process, and as a free gift, I'm going to be giving you the no-code tool that we built so you can plug it into your own N8N or Make.com and run it yourself. Hey business owners, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Garik Tate, and I get B2B businesses and firms, new clients, with AI development and cold email outreach. Let's dive in. So what are you going to need to make this work? What you will need is either a N8N account or a Make.com account. We have a free gift on both platforms that you can just download. I'll talk about that more at the end of the video. You will also need an OpenAI API key, as well as a SmartLead account. SmartLead is the service that we use in order to be buying and setting up domains. It's also our primary sending platform. We like SmartLead a lot for that. So you're going to need a SmartLead account as well as an API key in order to make this work. That being said, let's dive in. So this is a form you're going to fill out. All it asks is the client's name. And by the way, if you're filling this in for your own campaign, of course, just enter in your own information. But in this case, let's say it's your client's name, their full name, their industry or profession, their website, and the number of domains you want to output. So let's go through that. Let's say we do it for ourselves. Let's say we just enter in AICO. That's the name of my agency, and that's short for AICO Outreach. This is also where you could add things like, Inc. or anything else that would be appropriate. From here, you add in their industry profession. You want to add as much info here as makes sense. So let's say, I think the example here is, just lead generation, cold email, appointment setting, marketing agency, M&A specialist. So after that, we enter in the client website and choose the number of domains that we want it to output. So how do you choose the number of domains? Well, basically it depends on how big your campaign is. We've actually built also another little calculator that helps us decide how many domains we want it to output, and I'll show that to you now. So we're going to be giving this away as part of the free gift. More about that information at the end of the video. But for now, let's walk through this. So this is just a little calculator that we like to use. If you already know how many domains you need to purchase, you can skip using timestamps below. But if you don't know, then this is how we at least calculate it. Basically, all the information in gray are variables that you can control depending on what's right for you. What I've pre-filled in here is essentially very often our default campaign size. So let's talk about it. Typically speaking, our campaigns start at a minimum of 5,000 leads a month. We send 3 emails per lead. So in other words, we'll typically send 15,000 emails in any given month. And we only send on weekdays. We do not send on weekends. Basically what that means is that out of 30 days in a typical month, we send 22 of those days. If we did not send on weekends, well, then we would say 30 days in the month we're sending emails. We like to have a dry powder multiple of 3. Basically what that means is that if we need to send 1,000 emails in a given month, we would like to have 3 times more capacity to send emails. What that allows us to do is if any given time a particular mailbox fries out, we can just instantly replace it with a working mailbox, and that works very well. Additionally, it also allows the vast majority of our reserves to be continuing to warm up longer and longer, and that just really increases our resilience. So with all of those assumptions in place, what this is telling us is we need to have the ability to send 682 emails per day, and preferably we would like to have the capacity to send 2,045 emails per day. That's what this is outputting. Once that's filled in, you then just fill in the bottom variables here, make that match the top variables. What I mean by that is you decide how many regular mailboxes and micro mailboxes you want to purchase in order to create the capacity to send 2,000 emails a day. If you change any of this, like say you double the number of leads, but you half the number, or you only send 2 emails per lead, and then you send on weekends included, of course, all this stuff would get changed. Well, we have a couple of assumptions here. So there are really, in our opinions, 2 types of mailboxes. There's regular mailboxes where you send between 10 to 30 emails per day from, and then there are micro mailboxes. A micro mailbox is when you set many mailboxes on a domain, but you only send about 2 to 5 emails per day per mailbox. So those are the 2 assumptions that we have. And so in this example here, we say we're going to set 50 regular mailboxes and 500 micro mailboxes. We pretty much always set 3 mailboxes per domain if they're regular mailboxes, and we set 52 mailboxes if they're a micro domain. Grand total, that means that we need to buy 27 domains in order to support this campaign. If this is your very first campaign, I would just worry about the campaign size and the number of emails per lead, and if you want to send on weekends or not. Once you have that information, I think that these assumptions down below of the number of mailboxes and the number of mailboxes per domain, all that stuff are safe bets, and I would leave this alone. But if you want to change it based on your own situations, feel free to do so. All right, so it said we need 27 mailboxes in order to proceed. We're gonna say 27, and you know what? Let's increase it by about, let's say 50%. So that would be increasing it up to about 40, just because I want it to suggest 50% more domains than we really need, so we can pick our favorites. Additionally, we can also add in domains that we want it to double check on our behalf. So in other words, let's say we have AICO Outreach. I want to specifically also check like best team AICOoutreach.com. I just want to specifically check that domain. This is useful if you already have another list laying around of domains you want to be checked manually along with the AI suggesting domains. Just an optional thing as well. I'm going to click submit, and then we're going to wait for the magic to happen and to see what the AI output. All right, it is now done, so we can then take the result and go to that sheet. So here's the output. So every one of these domains is one that is available for purchase. So we can see AICO Outreach, we can see AI Cold Outreach Hub, AI Outreach HQ.com. All of these are available, and they're all using .com, which .com, by the way, is the preferred domain type. Also, if you scroll here to the bottom, you can see Best Team Outreach or Best Team AI Cold Outreach.com, which was the one that we specifically wanted to be included in the list. So if we included more, then obviously those be included as well. So yeah, this is what the system suggests that we buy for the campaign. All right, so how does it actually work? How does it actually generate all those domains that we just now saw? Well, the way it works is we have an innate-in workflow. If you're not familiar with innate-in, it's a fantastic low-code, no-code tool to build automations like the one that you just now saw. If you have an innate-in account, you can download this exact workflow from the AICO cheat sheet, links in the description below. And if you don't have an innate-in account, then I would probably recommend that the first automation platform you should check out wouldn't actually be innate-in, because it can be a little more complicated and have a steeper learning curve. Instead, I would recommend make.com. So we actually built the exact same workflow inside of make.com just so you can download it and use it. Whether it's innate-in or make.com, the ideas work the same. I'm going to be explaining it through the lens of innate-in. So this is how the innate-in basically works. First, it takes the information that we had submitted to it, and it sends the information into ChatGPT in order to ask ChatGPT, or OpenAI's API in this case, to generate a list of domains that it can use. After we get the suggestions from OpenAI, we then pass it into SmartLead's API. SmartLead is the service that we use in order to do pretty much all of our sending at this point, and that's because we really like their APIs. They have a service called Smart Senders where you can purchase domains and mailboxes through their portal, essentially, and interface with their vendors very, very, very easily. To support that, they have an API, which is the one we use here, where we can ask them what domains are available for cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean less than $15 per month. On top of telling us if the domain is available, it will also tell us other domains and suggest other domains as well that are also available. Once we get all of the suggestions, we see what's available, what's not, as well as take SmartLead's other suggestions. We package that and bundle it and send it to ChatGPT again. And here we ask ChatGPT to tell us or to pick out what it thinks are the most professional sounding ones, and then do one more check, just once again double checking they are all available. And when that's done, we then pen them into the Google Sheet as you saw, and that is how this system works. All right, in order to access either the innate-in workflow or the make.com workflow, the link is in the description below to the AI Cold Outreach cheat sheet. So what you're going to do is just enter your information to get access to that, and you can download either one of these workflows as a JSON file. Once you download it as a JSON file, you can upload it to either your innate-in or make.com account, and then when you upload it, you should have the workflow right there ready to fill in your information to make it work. So the information you're going to fill in depends on which platform, and let's talk about that really briefly. So first of all, I want to say that this video is not intended to be a make.com or an innate-in tutorial. There are fantastic creators out there that make a lot of content about innate-in for beginners and make.com for beginners. If you don't know, Nick Sarov is probably the creator that I follow the most when it comes to this stuff, so I recommend you can check him out if you're new to these platforms. That being said, I want to walk through in a high level about what you have to update here in order to make this work for you. Let's dive in. First, for innate-in, in order to set this up, you need to fill in the set variables here. You're going to fill in the spreadsheet ID and the sheet ID. To get these, you go to the spreadsheet. So this right here is the free gift version of the spreadsheet you're going to be getting. So what you can do is this will also be found in the cheat sheet, and you will copy this, make your own version, and then in that new version, you can clone the spreadsheet ID, which is found right here, as well as the sheet ID. The sheet ID you can find here on the far side. Once you copy those two variables, you paste them into here, and that should be good to go there. Next, you have to fill in the OpenAI modules with your own account and connect your innate in to your OpenAI account. That'll be here and here. Next, you're going to have to update the authorization with your own API key for the SmartLead nodes. That'll be found right here and also right here. And then I believe you will also have to update the Google Sheets node right here, connecting it once again with an account that has access to the Sheet ID and the Spreadsheet ID. And from there, the innate in setup should be all complete. You can save it, publish it, and then once it's published, you can use the published URL, give it to your team, and they can use it in order to start generating lists of domains for your campaigns. Make.com is honestly pretty much the same with a few minor differences. So once again, you should fill in the Spreadsheet ID and the Sheet ID with the first node right here. However, on top of that, you will also need to fill in or create a Google form. That Google form is found right here. Once again, this will be another link in the description below, so you can go ahead and duplicate this. And once it's duplicated, you can make sure that that is properly set up here. You can connect to the correct form ID and then have that going. And then, like I said before, you'll also have to fill in the connection for the OpenAI accounts, as well as set up the credentials for the SmartLead account here and here. And then lastly, pretty much the same as before, in the bulk add rows, make sure you have a connection to the spreadsheet using a account that has access to the free gift sheet. And that is how you will set this up. If you want our help setting up a campaign entirely end to end, you can book a call with my team using the booking link below, and we'll take a look at your situation and see whether it makes sense for us to run a cold email campaign on your behalf, or if you're better off doing it in-house with the right setup. And once again, for last time, if you want access to the template shared in this video, grab the AICO cheat sheet linked below. It includes all the templates we reference in these videos, including the other videos on this YouTube channel. So we definitely recommend that you pick it up. It's the resource that we really wish we had when we first began our journey. Both links are below. Pick the path that makes sense for you. Until next time, cheers. These are real appointments that we've generated from this campaign. You can see here we booked over 500 appointments just for our investment banker clients. And you can see, if I highlight everything here, you can see we've actually booked 40 appointments just in this last week. This has resulted in over $500,000 in closed revenue. So that's not even mentioning how much upside there is for the M&A advisor after they close their mandates. And show this off in the context of a new client. Here you can see we actually scheduled 31 appointments in their first 30 days. So how do we do it? The way we break